A very warm welcome to today's webinar, Getting on Board with OTAs. Today we're going to be talking about the specific requirements that are needed from OTAs to be able to get you as a supplier on board. And before we start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Robert Peace and I'm a program manager for TUI Musement. I've actually worked in the travel industry for 8 years. I started off my career with TUI as a sales representative. I went around all the hotels and I was selling experiences to our mutual clients. Since then, I've worked in many different positions, most recently as a destination manager for Latin America, where I oversaw the region and I was dealing with suppliers such as yourselves. So my role here is to give you as much insights, experience, and tips on how you can get the best out of your experience with OTAs. So a bit of an introduction to today's session, what we're going to be talking about. So the first thing is we're going to be looking at what is the general requirement from OTAs. So what things are needed from you so that they can distribute your tours online. We're going to look in more detail of a TUI Musement example. This is where I'm going to give my hints and tips to be able to make sure that you are able to give as much information during the initial stages of onboarding within TUI Musement. I'm also going to talk about legal and insurance along with terms and conditions. Now, I know these are not easy subjects. They're very boring, but I do have to go through them just so that you're aware of what the requirements are when it comes to OTAs in general. And there's also going to be another bit about good quality, sustainability, health and safety, and animal welfare. So let's go through the first part, which is a general overview of what OTAs require when it comes to distributing, signing up on their platforms. So I've split this slide into two different sections. Now these two sections, must-haves and should-haves. The must-haves, they are the fundamental things that you are going to need to be able to sign up to an OTA. These are things that you as a provider should have already. So we're not asking for anything that you wouldn't have. And these are business license and liability insurance. So a business license is basically a document from your country that basically states that you have the rights to be able to run a tours and attractions business within your country that your business is registered. Liability insurance, again, is documentation that basically proves that you have liability insurance. So if something were to go wrong on one of your tours, our mutual guest would be covered by your liability insurance. The should-haves are just things that you really should have as a tours and attractions business. And it's more about trying to make sure that these considerations are taken into consideration when you do sign up on the platforms. So good quality products with a good price balance. This during COVID is even more important than it ever has been before. Essentially, OTAs are looking for good quality products at good quality prices. We're not, TUI Musement specifically, we're not looking for tours that are dirt cheap, because we know that if something is too cheap, it's too good to be true, and usually that's sacrificed with bad quality. Now more than ever, we want to make sure that our mutual guests are receiving the best quality experiences they can at the best prices. So if there's a trade-off that needs to happen, we don't want that to affect the quality. Competitive commission. This is very important for a number of reasons. OTAs are businesses like yourself. The way they earn money is by taking a cut of the pie for selling your experiences through the channels. This is really, really important to bear in mind that lots of different regions have different commission levels. And also, it really, really does depend on the OTA that you go to as well. The last point, focus on sustainability, is something that's very important to me as a person, and very, very important to TUI Musement as a business. But I think I speak for everyone within the travel industry that sustainability is really part of our life in general. We want this to show through when you promote your tours. When it comes to onboarding with the OTAs, this is something that you guys should be so proud about, and really try to make this clear when you're trying to sell your tours to the OTAs. So when we look at TUI Musement specifically, again, the must-haves are basically what I mentioned in the previous slide. We need to have a business license. We need to have liability insurance. Now, when it comes to the finer details on what liability insurance you need, this is where the TUI Care Foundation can assist you. They can give you pointers on what capacities you need when it comes to liability insurance. Depending on the area of the business that you wish to distribute your tours through, it will really depend on the liability insurance that you have. So the terms and conditions is something that's very important for you guys to know about. Before you sign up on the Musement Business platform, you can access the terms and conditions here on the link, which is shown on screen at the moment. This link will take you through to a PDF that basically is our contract that we have for TUI Musement. Essentially, you need to read this through and make sure that you agree with all of the pointers here, because this will be the contract between TUI Musement and you as a supplier. Now, it's automatically signed when you finalize the signing process on the business platform. So let's talk about good quality. I mentioned this earlier on the introduction. Now, good quality is something that's really important, and that's for a number of reasons. When it comes to a destination manager working for an OTA, we get overwhelmed with an awful lot of product from an awful lot of suppliers. So the one thing that we're looking for is something that stands out from the crowd when we're searching through all of these different suppliers and all of their tours. It's important for you that you know your market. Knowing exactly who your target market is will help us, mainly because if you know who you're selling to, we can assist you with making sure that you hit that target audience as much as possible. The other thing that I will always recommend is making sure that you check your portfolio against what is existing online. So basically, go onto the OTA website, have a look through and see if there's any competition for your particular tour. If you notice there's no offering of this tour that you have, that's great. That's a great leading tour to go in when you have that conversation with the destination manager. It's a way of getting your foot in to the OTA. If you notice that there's probably 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 200 variations of that tour that you're offering, don't let that dishearten you. If you have a unique way of doing that particular experience, then please come to us with that unique way. We're always looking for a city tour with a difference. We're always looking for a venue such as Chichen Itza that's done in a new and exciting way. So if you have that, that should be, again, your lead into the OTAs. My other point is about reviews. So reviews are very important, not only to you, but to every single person out there who's looking to go on an experience. If you have a wealth of good reviews about your tours, make sure you include those during your proposal stage. This will help us understand exactly what type of tours that you are offering. Innovation. This ties in with what I was saying earlier about finding a new way to do existing tours. Sometimes things like COVID are actually a godsend. It gives us the time to sit there, to review and see how we can do our tours better. Now, obviously after COVID, the demand for small groups and private tours is going to be higher than ever, but everybody's going to be doing that. So look and see how you can take that small and guided group tour and innovate it in a way that nobody else is doing. Sustainability, animal welfare, and health and safety. This is the last section of today's webinar. So when we talk about sustainability, in TUI Musement, we're very proud with everything that we do, with all of the different charities that we sustain. If you have any tours that involve going and seeing local cultural activities, maybe you support schools in the local area, anything that involves an ounce of sustainability, this is something that you guys should be proud of. Please share this with us. we'd be very, very happy to have a look at this particular tour that you're offering. Now, animal welfare is something that TUI Musement are very, very proud of. We have so many awards across the whole world of how we deal with animal welfare. It's very, very, very important that you think about this during if you have any animals involved in any of your tours. And the reason why is because if there is any animals involved in your activities, 99.9% of the time, TUI will require you to do some sort of self-assessment audit just to make sure that you're ticking all of the boxes when it comes to looking after animals. This is the same for health and safety. This is something that in TUI Musement we take very, very, very to heart. In the end, the safety of our guests and the safety of our customers is of the utmost priority. We want to make sure that all of elements of the tours that we offer are safe. Depending on the type of activity that you offer will depend on the level of audit that you will require. This is something that can be discussed in more detail on a one-to-one basis with your account manager if you're successful in signing up on the Musement Business platform. And that's everything from today's webinar. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one, where we're going to be talking about how to get on board with TUI Musement. Thank you very much.